She claims to have a special gift.
She could foresee the future. That made people admire her, and she relished that.
They thought that she was possessed with some power of the occult and the beyond that made her this amazing prophet of doom.
Tilly Gaburek is special, but not in the way her customers think.
Tilly was on a killing spree. She was enjoying killing people.
An immigrant neighborhood in Northwest Chicago, 1911.
Little Poland, the area where Tilly was a several square block area of pretty much just Polish people who were fairly fresh off the boat.
It was said that there were more Poles living here in Chicago at one point than there were in the entire city of Warsaw in Poland.
Like many in Little Poland, Tilly Gaburek lives a precarious existence.
I'm so late. The market was so crowded and there were so many people and potatoes.
It's made worse by an idle husband.
That's all you have.
Did you bring my beer?
I didn't bring the beer. I had no money left. I had no money left.
Husband was a drunk and was pretty lazy and really just didn't do much of anything. And so she ended up supporting them because he only worked every once in a while at odd jobs.
Useless woman.
Each year of Tilly's unhappy marriage is making her more bitter.
It was unkindly said about Tilly that she was greasy-complected, ill-mannered, just a thoroughly unpleasant kind of woman to look at. And she was made hard by the times that she lived in.
Why, Manny, you have no idea.
She's thinking of how to get out.
26 years of a tough marriage to a man that had caused her so much grief. And finally, I think something snapped within her.
One evening, after another long day at work,
It's about time you come home.
You are going to work. I'm sick of your work. You.
Tilly stands up for herself.
Hey.
What are you doing?
Do that again. Just down. You get taken. Get out. I'm sick of it. Take this.
She had spent her whole life being a downtrodden, beaten kind of person. And finally, now she had some power.
It took a long time for Tilly to stand up for herself, but when she did, she became a new person.
At age 55, Tilly wants a new life, a new look, and a new career.
After Tilly broke out of her shell, she had to construct a scenario where she looked like somebody important, that she had a talent no one else did.
That talent is predicting the future.
When you go into a dress shop and you order a black dress, obviously a morning dress, and a shopkeeper asks, "Oh, I'm sorry, when did your husband die?"
In 2 weeks.
This really changed her status in the neighborhood because someone who was a seer or a prophet was someone you didn't want to mess with.
Writer Troy Taylor says Tilly's self-proclaimed psychic powers gave her something she'd never had before: respect.
Throughout her life, Tilly was just a plain, ordinary person who had no real claim to fame. It wasn't until she made these psychic predictions of who was going to die that she was really set apart from the rest of the crowd.
But Tilly's predictions are worthless unless she can make them come true.
Poisoning is a method women frequently use to dispatch their victims. It suited Tilly's personality because she could be in control, she could get close to her victim, she could decide when, where, and how they died.
Sit.
Tilly has given her husband of 26 years
Yes.
a lethal dose of arsenic.
Eat. Good.
What it does is it causes paresthesias. In other words, it causes damage to the nerves in the hands and in the feet.
Yes.
Headache, vomiting, a feeling of being ill with the flu.
Come on, come on. More, more.
This is particularly distressing because once it starts, it doesn't go away. It's there day and night, day after day after day.
In the midst of murder, something unexpected happens. Tilly begins to enjoy it.
She had this very perverse, sadistic glee in watching the death throes, the agonizing death throes of her victims.
This sadistic glee is the catalyst for Tilly to begin another new career.
She was married to her first husband for 26 years before suddenly becoming an overnight serial killer.
We know it was at least 9, and the newspapers believed it could have been as high as 20.
A grieving widow beyond suspicion. Tilly Gaburek has murdered her first husband.
$1,000.
Now she's cashing in.
Are you sure,
Yeah,
man?
that's fine. Just give me the money.
Okay.
He had an insurance policy, which at that time, in the late teens, that was a lot of money in a poor immigrant neighborhood like Little Poland.
I think Tilly's first murder was mostly out of convenience. She was tired of her husband, she didn't want him around, and it just so happened that she got $1,000 out of the deal. After that, she saw a way to make a living.
She barely waited until the ground on the earth had settled before she was marrying her next husband.
This husband dies too. And so does the next. Both deaths are predicted by Tilly, and both provide lucrative life insurance payouts.
Most of the Polish people who lived in the neighborhood were very, very religious people, and superstitious people. Nobody really was brave enough to go and tell the police that they thought there was something going on.
With each death, Tilly's reputation as a fortune teller grows. Dare to cross her, and you'll be the subject of a terrifying prophecy.
The future. There.
She would very often whisper in their ear, "You're going to die soon."
And apparently, all of her predictions were coming true. There was one young woman who did notice that Tilly had seen several men die in her home and was suspicious, and of course, then she died herself.
By this time, no one in the neighborhood is safe.
She also got into an argument with some parents of some 3 little children who also mysteriously died.
She even poisoned a neighbor's dog that was barking and causing her to lose sleep at night.
I think Tilly enjoyed the power that wielding life or death over another human being gave her. And she enjoyed it. It was one thing to kill a husband for his life insurance. It's completely different to kill someone that had angered her.
The suspicion nobody dares voice is the link between all the deaths. Tilly's famous stew.
Tilly was an accomplished cook. It was said that she could whip up a fabulous meal.
Perhaps that is what attracts her fourth and final husband, Joe Klimek.
Joe Klimek, who kind of strikes me as being a little clueless. I guess today we would say he was very laid back and didn't pay much attention to local gossip.
Joe doesn't realize the woman pretending to nurse him back to health is actually killing him.
It wasn't until his brother finally said, you know, I think there's something wrong with you, that he realized that he was getting sick.
More soup?
In fact, he never did anything. It was his brother who thought there was something suspicious going on after asking around the neighborhood and finding out that Tilly had already buried several other husbands.
And for every husband who eats a deadly serving of stew, there's an insurance policy for Tilly to collect on. When Joe Klimek's brother alerts the police, they're just in time to prevent Tilly claiming her final victim.
Joe was probably one bowl away from death of Tilly's stew. When the police showed up at their home on Winchester, it was simmering on the stove.
The bodies of Tilly's previous husbands are exhumed. They each contain enough arsenic to kill 4 people.
In the good old days, it was actually quite easy to get away with murder. In today's world, with modern forensics, with knowledge of heavy metal poisoning like arsenic, I would say that after one death, we would be on to her.
On trial for murder, Tilly Gaburek becomes a household name across America. Her transformation from an unknown working woman is complete.
She really seemed to enjoy the attention, and I think that that was a big part of why she did what she did. She was in the spotlight, and she ended up with a life sentence in prison.
The woman who was so eager to predict a death won't admit to causing any. To this day, the exact number of Tilly Gaburek's victims is a mystery.
The number of dead that Tilly left in her wake is a pretty amazing number. We know it was at least 9, and the newspapers believed it could have been as high as 20. She does definitely rate up there as I would say, probably the deadliest woman in Chicago history.
No poison is more potent than the one served by a trusted hand.
Well, she was a dear, caring, loving, beautiful grandmother. She helped everyone. She looked after everyone.
Oh, good, I brought you some homemade goodies.
She'd bring cake, and she'd bring biscuits, and she'd bring food.
And she'd bring death.
She went and saw them at their homes. She sat beside them.
Ready for the tea?
And then gave them poison.
Do you need just a little bit more, otherwise you're dehydrated.
What sort of a person does that?
Sydney, Australia, a thriving metropolis. But in the late 1940s, there is a population boom of the four-legged kind.
It was not uncommon for rats to be in almost plague proportions from time to time.
In her small tenement home, Caroline Grills is fighting a losing battle.
She wasn't happy where they lived. There was a rat plague right throughout Sydney, and she hated it. She absolutely hated where she lived.
Crime writer Paul B. Kidd says Caroline was desperate to escape her squalid surroundings.
There was a way out of her dilemma. Her father had died 11 years earlier and left the family house to his second wife, not Caroline's mother, the second wife, and given her life tenancy.
Caroline's stepmother has a lovely home in a wealthy suburb
Let me help you. That's it.
with not a rat in sight.
So she began visiting her and popping over with nice cake and some lovely other goodies she cooked in the oven. She was a very good cook.
Oh, I better make it. Oh, no, dear. You let me look after you. I'll make the tea.
Caroline will eventually inherit the family home.
Over here, dear. Oh. The kettle's over here. Over there. All right.
But her
I'll just be
stepmother
over there in a minute.
will have to die first.
Just here, son.
Back in her own squalid home, Caroline is left to dream of the house she thinks should be hers. Until the rats she so despises get her thinking.
People don't wake up one morning in their 50s and decide to kill unless they've been thinking about it. We find that with killers, they fantasize about killing down to the last detail over and over and over.
Soon, Caroline Grills finds any excuse to drop in on her stepmother for some cake and tea.
Oh, and how did you get? Oh, lovely. You've nearly finished it.
The dear old love, her stepmother, fell very, very ill. Her hair started to fall out. She couldn't see anymore. She was going blind.
Oh, doctor, she's in here.
Doctors can't explain the mystery illness.
Anything unusual to eat?
No, just tea and cake. Nothing.
One woman knows exactly what the cause is. Rat poison containing thallium.
Thallium is actually an element. It's located in the atomic table between mercury and lead.
It's a lethal substance, familiar to forensic pathologist Janis Amatuzio.
As a poison, thallium is absolutely ideal. It is odorless, it is tasteless, and it's easy to dissolve in liquids.
Death from thallium poisoning can be quick, and if it is, that's merciful. If a less than lethal dose is given,
More tea, that's it.
their hair will fall out, nausea and vomiting will be unbearable, their limbs will be in terrible pain. It's a dreadful way to die.
The tragic death of her stepmother has a happy result for Caroline Grills.
She inherited the house from her stepmother when her stepmother had passed away from what was at the time an unexplained illness.
She has her dream home, and no one suspects what a dear old lady did to get it.
She was just an ordinary suburban mum to look at, and she was just one of those people that if she walked by, you wouldn't even notice her.
It had to be very exciting for Caroline to know that she was above suspicion.
She was a little old lady living a lie.
Caroline Grills has stumbled upon the perfect poison. And now, there's no stopping her.
She was one of the worst types of serial killers this country has ever known.
In Sydney, Australia, Caroline Grills enjoys afternoon tea with her relatives.
They'd have games of bridge and cups of tea and something to eat.
The polite surroundings give no clue to the awful truth. Delightful Aunt Carrie is a killer who can't be stopped.
Obviously, she'd got a taste for murder.
4 years ago, Caroline Grills inherited the family home when her stepmother mysteriously died. Since then, 3 more relatives have suffered unexplained deaths. In every case, she is right by their bedside.
Carolyn's first murder was motivated out of convenience and greed. She wanted to be in the good house. After that, it appears that her murders were nothing more or less than thrill killings.
Evelyn Lundberg and her son-in-law, John Downey, have no idea that Evelyn is next on the hit list.
Nobody could understand how she could possibly have such a warm relationship with the members of her family and yet poison them.
Within days, Evelyn falls deathly ill.
Her hair started to fall out. She went blind. She had terrible, terrible pain in the limbs. Naturally, Caroline Grills was there to tend for her and see to it that she had someone to be with her. But Mrs. Lundberg just deteriorated and got worse. It was not looking good.
Yeah, let me take that from
Caroline Grills is a killer beyond suspicion.
you. You go with your feet up for a little while, and I'll make sure that everyone's all right, okay? You're a saint, you really are.
And it makes her feel invincible.
Let me teach you a little bit more of this.
It wasn't for personal gain. It was for a mixture of being in control, having control of someone else's life, but also a sense of I'm the only one who knows what the real cause of this illness is. So there's a sense of power behind it.
Her secret weapon is rat poison.
I think that it became the poison of choice for those who were minded to poison other people.
As John Downey's mother-in-law recovers in the hospital from her strange and sudden illness, he discovers it has struck someone else.
John's suspicions were aroused during the arrest and trial of one Gladys Fletcher, who had allegedly poisoned her husband, the local rat catcher. The symptoms were exactly the same as Evelyn's.
John suspects that Evelyn is also being slowly poisoned. But to prove it, he needs to catch Aunt Carrie in the act. Evelyn Lundberg will be the bait.
When Evelyn Lundberg was finally well enough to come home, the Downeys made sure that Aunt Carrie was aware of it. Of course, she came to pay a visit with some lovely things to eat.
Tea was made for everybody. And John Downey saw her reach towards the front of her dress, towards the area where she had a pocket, and then pass her hand over the cup, and then put her hand back to the pocket.
It'll go really well with the tea.
Good idea.
He then poured the tea that he'd got from his mother-in-law into a glass jar. Which he eventually took to the police when he voiced his suspicions. And the tea in this glass jar was sent to an analyst by the police, who several weeks later discovered that it contained a very significant amount of thallium in it.
Convicted of 3 murders, Caroline Grills is sentenced to life. In prison, she gets a new nickname, Aunt Thally, after her poison of choice.
If Caroline hadn't been stopped, the body count would have been enormous. When she ran out of poor relatives, she probably would have started on the neighbors.
There was no monetary gain, there was no sexual gain. She simply enjoyed it.
What will make one woman kill another?
She's not a violent person, never was, no history of violence.
Money?
She was in way too deep to get out of it.
Sex?
He wanted them to have sex with one another, Dawn and Susan.
Fear?
She was really, really worried about her son, that Fred was going to do something to the son.
Or all 3?
The lives of 2 women were ruined because they could not stand up to this one evil man.
A deal is going down in upstate New York, in the town of Poughkeepsie.
I want to show you, I made a cut back from here, and I've taken out a bit from there.
That's not what I'm interested in.
A developer
Okay,
needs city
I have your
approval
money.
for his water plans.
Take that.
But city representative
How much?
Fred Andros
400.
wants something in return.
Do you want your permit or not?
This will cover it all.
Fred was able to shake down companies very easily, and they would have to pay him off. If they didn't do what he said, Fred wouldn't give them the permits, they wouldn't be able to open their buildings. Simple as that.
Fred Andros has a strange power over people in business and in private. For the past 20 years, he's had an on-again, off-again affair with Dawn Silvernail.
You have no choice. I owe him a favor. You owe me a favor.
Now in her 50s, married with children, Dawn seems almost under his spell.
Okay.
For some reason, he was able to get women to trust him. And, you know, Dawn fell into that same category.
Crime writer M. William Phelps says from the time Dawn first met Fred, she could never really escape.
Dawn didn't really want to be romantic with Fred. She just no connection with him. So she takes off for this job down south, and she never told Fred where she was going. But she gets a call one day from Fred, and Fred says, "You can't hide from me. I know where you are at all times."
Over the years, Dawn has relied on Fred for money. In return, he or his associates receive sex.
Fred's power over Dawn didn't happen overnight. It happened over years. From the very first time Dawn was corrupted by him, she became his to do anything he wanted her to do.
Dawn isn't Fred's only plaything. He's also having an affair with Susan Fassett, a policeman's wife. Occasionally, he gets the two women together for his sexual gratification.
Get your robes off.
Fred decides that he wants Susan to have sex with another woman while he videotapes it. And Susan says, "Okay, I'll do it," because she wants to do anything to make Fred happy, I guess.
Fred, I don't want to do this. I don't think I can do it.
Get undressed.
I think Fred was able to control Susan and Dawn because they were afraid of him. After the very first time Susan had an intimate contact with Fred, he could use that against her in the future. She was married. She did have children. Dawn knew that he knew all the bad things she had done. I think they felt trapped.
Dawn is also embroiled in Fred's shady shakedowns at the water department.
She picked up several envelopes of money while Fred was ongoing with his corruption scandal, which she went along with this and made some extra money by helping Fred out.
But Fred's corruption is about to be exposed. Captain Arthur Boyko from the Poughkeepsie Major Crime Unit was there.
He was under a corruption scandal and was a witness in a federal probe into his position as a town of Poughkeepsie water supervisor.
Yeah.
With the federal investigation looming, everyone is on edge.
Blueprint are okay, but there's something wrong with the specifications. Well, look, I haven't done the permits. I haven't seen the specifications.
Susan decides she wants to distance herself.
Set up an appointment with him. I'll bring him back. Bye. Take him back.
No, Fred. It's over.
He had told her about some of these things. So he kind of made it seem to her like you're involved as much as I am. And Fred could not take rejection. It was something he just couldn't take. So he turned rejection into revenge.
Be careful, Susan. Don't do anything you're gonna regret.
Fred is in deep trouble. Susan, a policeman's wife, can bring him down. He needs a fix. So he turns to his old girlfriend, ever reliable, Dawn Silvernail.
Fred says, well, I need you to do me a favor. That woman that you've been having sex with, that I've been videotaping, you need to kill her for me.
Dawn Silvernail has known Fred Andros for 20 years. He's been her friend, her lover, her financier.
What the hell?
Now, he wants his return.
They look like surveillance photographs almost of Dawn's son, smoking a cigarette on the back dock where he works. There's a picture of Dawn's aunt walking her dog. And Fred says, you see these? You don't want anything to happen to these people, do you, Dawn?
Fred wants Dawn to be his assassin. The target is Susan Fassett, Fred's ex-lover, and Dawn's ex-sex partner.
Sure be a shame if there was a drive-by shooting and your son was shot.
She was in fear for her safety and well-being as well as her family members, and that's what helped motivate her to do this crime.
It will be a cold-blooded execution when Susan walks to her car after choir practice.
Fred was certainly the mastermind behind the whole thing, provided Dawn with all the details where Susan would be, the time that she would be leaving the choir practice, and pretty much gave her everything she needed to commit the murder.
So Dawn parks right next to Susan's car, knowing that she's gonna come out at some point. And she just waited.
She was in the passenger side of her car. She had a ski mask on.
Had the gun in her hand, and she put the seat back in her car. So when Susan walked out, she wouldn't even see her. She keeps looking, and she sees Susan walk out of the church, walk across the street. Susan gets in her car, closes the door, and as Susan is putting her seatbelt on,
She sat up and pointed the gun out the window and fired and kept firing.
Dawn just kind of unloaded the gun. A lot of the bullets hit Susan Fassett.
6 shots don't kill Susan instantly. She will die 2 hours later in the hospital.
Susan was an innocent. She did nothing wrong except probably try to break up with the wrong guy.
Fred Andros is used to getting his way. But the weight of guilt will break Dawn's 20 years of subservience.
I can't do this.
What do you mean you can't do it?
She turns herself in.
Susan had family 2 sons that loved her. And I think the emotional part of it eventually got to Dawn.
And there will be no deal when police arrive to arrest Fred.
Fred attempted to take his own life by shooting himself right underneath the chin, and the bullet exited between his eyes and then struck a wall right at the top of the stairwell where myself and one of the other investigators were standing.
Fred lives to be found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 25 years. 2 years later, he dies of a heart attack. Dawn Silvernail is convicted of murder. She is currently serving a life sentence.
I think Dawn was only dangerous as long as Fred had something over her. And when that factor was removed from her life, she would have no reason to hurt anyone. She wasn't a criminal. He turned her into one.
Dawn's remorse continues to this day.
She says that there's not a night that goes by in prison that she doesn't have nightmares about this crime.
If I got it all worked out, you can break me out of my court hearing next year.
What's that at your hearing?
You're gonna do it, right?
A dangerous prisoner
Yeah.
is about to make a daring escape. His weapon more powerful than armed guards or handcuffs. It's the love of a woman.
She did what she was told to do by the man she loved. She would have done anything for him.
I think that is probably the hardest thing for me to deal with, knowing my daughter has killed somebody.
In a Tennessee prison, a married mother of 3 begins work as a nurse.
She worked shift at the prison, and she was getting harassed by the other prisoners. They were showing themselves to her. So one of the guards says, well, I think we have somebody that can walk around with you and help you with these problems.
Jennifer, asking thou shalt receive. Want you to meet your new bodyguard, George Hyatt.
How you doing, Jennifer?
George Hyatt isn't a warden.
Pleasure's all mine.
Thank you, Warden.
He's a violent, hardened criminal, serving 30 years for armed robbery and assault.
Anything you need, Jennifer? I'm your man.
Thank you.
He is also persuasive, according to Assistant District Attorney Frank Harvey.
By all accounts that we've gotten, George Hyde can be a very charismatic, charming, likable fellow.
Choosing the wrong man has been a lifelong problem for Jennifer.
Jennifer has a disorder of affection. She has to be attached to some man who she thinks loves her for her to feel complete.
The emotional weakness makes her easy prey for George.
She was at the point in her life where she thought everything was just going downhill, and he just picked her up, and she was just caught up in it.
She was easy pickings for George Hyatt.
Oh, shit! You got a shrimp, girl? Yeah.
Jennifer is happy to break the rules for her man.
Oh, baby, you're great, man.
They pretty quickly developed an inappropriate, intimate relationship. And in short order, she got fired for, of all things, smuggling into him fast food. I believe it was shrimp.
But Jennifer is now obsessed. She walks out on her husband and children and moves closer to the prison.
He, of course, had his cell phone. And he called her, and he had her on the phone 24 hours a day.
God, I wish I was there with you. I wish you were here too.
Now that he has a girlfriend on the outside,
Baby, I love you.
he won't risk losing her.
Will you marry me?
Yeah, okay.
Jennifer says "I do" to her fourth husband in 14 years.
I pretty much looked at it as Jennifer had been married a lot and she'd made another mistake.
George soon makes it clear what he wants from his new wife.
Babe, you gotta get me out of here.
How?
You can bring me out of my court hearing next year.
George was facing so much time,
Babe, I got it all worked out.
it appears he made the decision that it was worth taking a chance.
I need to get a car, and I need to get a gun. Can you do that for me?
Okay.
Part of her really saw this as kind of a romantic adventure.
Baby, I love you.
With her crazy, wild criminal husband.
Jennifer is about to make a life or death decision. Once a warm-hearted nurse, Jennifer Hyatt is on the run. She has been shot in the hip, helping her criminal husband escape from custody.
Jennifer is the type of person that would not hurt anybody. She cared for animals. She cared for older people. She never had a mean bone in her body. So this is something that was completely out of character for Jennifer.
We're free, baby. We did it.
Now she has a price on her head. And it's all for love.
All she wanted was a chance to be with the man she loved, and it was somehow unfair that she couldn't have that. And she decided, by golly, she was going to get it.
It's August 2005. George Hyatt is on his way back to prison after a court hearing. It is here that Jennifer will prove her devotion to her husband.
They had a very specific plan. She was told by George, think this over, go through this in your mind, be prepared. Be prepared, be prepared. Jennifer approached the van.
Just shoot him! Whoa, whoa, lady, don't shoot.
George said shoot, and she did.
All she heard was the man she loved telling her to do something.
Let's go, baby, let's go, baby!
Larry Harris, the other guard, drew his weapon and returned fire. Jennifer was wounded. She had to have known it at the time, but she was able to keep going.
I'm hit. Stay with it.
As Jennifer and George make their escape, Wayne Morgan lies critically injured.
These guards are not strangers to us. We knew these people on a first-name basis. So it was personal to all the people involved in the court system, and was just a shock.
It is an even greater shock for Jennifer's mother.
I was watching the internet, and something popped up that said there had been a shooting in Kingston, Tennessee. And I went, oh, this is really strange. That's where Jennifer went. So I clicked on it. Well, needless to say, it pulled up her picture and said she'd shot a guard. And of course, I kind of lost it.
Hiding in a motel in Kentucky, Jennifer hears the fateful news that will seal her future.
In an exchange of gunfire, the corrections officer was shot in the abdomen and later died in hospital.
Wayne Morgan, father of 2, dies on the way to the hospital.
He did what he was sworn to do. That was to try to keep his prisoner, and he died for it. There was an immediate, massive hunt, a lockdown of areas.
Hello?
It was all over the media.
This is Deputy Nikki Ralston with the United States Marshal Service.
After 36 hours on the run, the couple are surrounded in Columbus, Ohio.
Get George and come out of the room with your hands held up.
They knew there was no place further for them to run.
So. The first time I talked to her, she says she didn't regret anything. That was the day that she got incarcerated.
Get your hands up. Now turn around and walk backwards towards us.
She says everything was great and everything was wonderful, and she did it for the love of her life.
Hands up, higher.
I think that she was totally manipulated with this husband of hers. He had done this 5 times before, and he finally found somebody that he could manipulate to the point where she would do this for him. I do not think that Jennifer's intention was ever to shoot.
Sally Lamson believes her daughter's version.
She was holding the gun,
Gonna shoot!
and one of the guards reached for the gun, and it scared her, and she pulled the trigger.
But eyewitnesses are adamant she followed George's orders.
If it were otherwise, why would she have bullets in the gun? Why would she bother to know how to use the gun? If it were otherwise, why would she take the safety off the gun? She had the opportunity to back away, and she didn't. She shot instead.
Jennifer Hyatt avoids the death penalty by pleading guilty to first-degree murder. She will never be released.
She cries every day, every single time holidays come around. I can't believe I did this. I don't know what I was thinking. I miss my family. I miss my children. She has all the regrets in the world. She's mostly regretful for what she has done to the victim's family.
Jennifer's problem was all about men. She had to have one. She wasn't exactly discriminating. She went from one to another trying to find herself. In the end, she found the one that brought her down.
Deep within the walls of an English convent, a young woman confesses.
I have a very heavy heart, Father.
You can tell me anything, child.
Her words will stun the British public.
I think she ultimately wanted her father and his wife to know what she had done.
And solve a 5-year-old mystery.
The road murder is almost up there with Jack the Ripper.
The mid-1800s. in a Wiltshire country house. Governess Mary Pratt puts to bed her young charge, Constance Kent. Her mother is too ill to care for her.
The governess took over the care of this child. She lived with her, she ate her meals with her, whereas the mother gradually retreated to another room in the house.
And Governess Mary is making another friend, the child's father, Samuel Kent. They're having an affair.
It was quite common for a man to keep a mistress, but not in the same house as his wife. Not only was Samuel Kent having a relationship with the governess, it was virtually under the nose of his wife.
Can't you at least wait until I'm dead?
Samuel's wife is gravely ill.
Get on back to bed.
The father's ongoing affair with the hired help was humiliating and very threatening to these young children who basically saw their mother being displaced by this younger woman.
Constance's humiliation continues after her mother dies, and her father marries governess Mary. They soon have a son, Francis, who steals attention from Constance and her brother William.
How dare you come into this house in those shoes? You can't talk to him like that. You're not his mother. Constance, Emily, Kent, how dare you talk to me like that?
Kent and his new wife are wrapped up in each other and wrapped up in their new little boy.
I am the lady of this house, and you will follow my orders.
Constance and her brother are kind of pushed to one side by what appears to be almost an archetypal wicked stepmother.
You are nothing but a governess to me. How dare you go to your room? No!
Constance, you must show Mary some respect.
The children of the first marriage clearly feel themselves being put upon by the new mother, the stepmother.
When Constance was rejected by the governess, that had to be devastating for her. I mean, it was a betrayal on top of betrayal. And I think that was probably a turning point for Constance.
Then, on June 30th, 1860,
Francis!
little Francis goes missing.
Francis!
His nursemaid is frantic.
Elizabeth Goff, who was the nursemaid, wakes to find that the little boy is missing.
As the alarm is raised, neighbors join the search.
Look, I'll check the outhouse. You check the garden.
Road Hill House is sprawling. There are many places a child could be hiding.
Francis?
But they'll soon discover that little Francis isn't playing.
They find the child's body in the outside privy. This little tiny 3-year-old is found with his throat cut.
I'm sorry, sir, but I found Francis.
In 19th century England, a mother mourns her son.
Yes, sir.
A child found savagely murdered, dumped in a lavatory.
What we're talking about here is a small boy, 3 years old, taken from his bed in the middle of the night. He has his throat gashed from ear to ear.
The victim's half-sister, Constance Kent, and her young brother, William, seem to feel nothing for the woman they once adored.
William and Constance had a common enemy. They looked at her and they saw the woman that destroyed their happy life.
The war between daughter and stepmother had its first casualty. A 3-year-old innocent.
I think the brutal way that Constance killed her little half-brother speaks to the intense hatred she had for her stepmother and probably her father. She was sending them a message. The ultimate insult.
If the blood vessels to the neck were cut and the child was held upside down, the child would very quickly exsanguinate. We are talking about a very brutal and bloody murder here. There is not a chance that the perpetrator wouldn't have been drenched in the victim's blood.
Britain's famous Scotland Yard police unit has just been established.
What time was it when you realized the boy wasn't in his bed?
Just after 7
And
a.m.
Inspector Jack Witcher is one of their first investigators.
Well, I thought Mary Jude heard Francis crying in the middle of the night, so she came in to take him to a room.
He starts by interviewing the household.
Why didn't you go in and check?
Well, I thought they may have been asleep.
He's chasing a blood trail.
Come forward.
And soon, he has a strong lead.
And this is the garment you wore the night before the boy went missing.
Constance Kent, when she's asked to produce her night attire, produces a freshly laundered nightdress.
It looks to be freshly washed.
Yes, it was washed this morning.
He's clearly a very shrewd individual. He would be the sort of person who would say, "Pressed nightdress, Miss Kent? I don't think we wore that last night now, did we?"
I see. Very well.
Inspector Witcher's prime suspect is now a 16-year-old girl.
Do you recognize this blanket?
And the more he learns about the family history, the more certain he becomes.
Witcher is sharp enough to have recognized the problems in that house and the potential for a murder being committed by one of the children of the first marriage.
Inspector Witcher arrests Constance for murder. But the times are in her favor. No one believes it.
There is an assumption in Victorian England that crime is committed by the dregs of the working class. Not a member of the respectable classes, not a member of the family, and certainly not a girl.
Constance goes free, and Inspector Witcher is humiliated.
Witcher actually had some sort of breakdown. The fact that nobody believed him, nobody was prepared to actually follow his logical and sensible reasoning.
The Road Hill murderer remains a dark mystery for the next 5 years, until an unexpected confession at a convent in England's south.
I don't know if she confessed out of guilt. I think it's more likely she confessed because she wanted to take credit for it. I think she ultimately wanted her father and his wife to know what she had done.
Constance Kent says she did it for revenge.
You must tell the police, you must tell the police everything.
She said, I wanted to hurt my stepmother, and I thought about killing her, but then I thought a better way to really hurt her is to kill what she loves the most. And so I killed her son.
A shocked Victorian legal system first sentences Constance Kent to death, but it's later commuted to life. Within 20 years, Constance is released and sails to Australia, where many convicts made a new life. There, she lives to 100.
I don't think she was evil, and I don't think she was mad. I think there's enough evidence, both from her time in prison and in her later years, to suggest that it was entirely the opposite.
I can understand her feeling of hostility towards her stepmother. On the other hand, I find it incredibly difficult to have sympathy with anyone who cuts the throat of a small child.
Constance never sees her stepmother or father again.
This was a revenge killing. I'll break your heart the way you broke mine.